Welcome to what I'm going to call In a Shed with Ed. So this is a update of what I'm doing at the moment and why everything looks the way it does. So yes, we're still dealing with this. I've got two rather big printers and the weather at the moment is either really nice or really not. So we've got these Cumgro enclosures, which has just prevented anything getting in there, and obviously also insulating them, meaning they keep the temperature I want way easier. That's been a big help with these, especially with this one, as resin's a lot more temperamental. It will hold its temperature really easily. Once it gets up there, it's just fine. It's brilliant. That's been working really well. I've no regrets about these two purchases. I'll put a link in the description below. I've got a feeling they're out of stock because they were nearing that last time I looked at them, but these are really useful. And these two machines are pretty big. I've got an Anycubic Cobra there and a Uniformation GK2 there, so those are two quite big machines. So chances are, unless you've got something massive, it will fit in there, and it's got all the handy little bits you can thread the cables through on the sides. And you can see that there, but there's that bit there. And yeah, that just keeps everything nice and neat and tidy. But because I've done it this way, I've got no space for anything else, and it's a little bit of a fight at the moment. As you can see, I do need to take the trash out. Everything does need to be organised a bit. I have been sick, which hasn't helped, so everything is a bit up in the air, and I've just been trying to crank out as many. This is a failed one, but I've been working on a side project, which is rather a bigger video coming out soon, where I'm making 100 of these for a certain event that's happening. They will all be coming out soon in a video coming out in about, I want to say, a month's time is probably realistic. That's what I'm currently doing with this at the moment. I'm printing a bunch of them. And there is a lot to print. I am printing 100, so that's taken ages. It's going to cost me, I reckon, at least, let's see, probably about maybe 100 quid in resin bottles, including all of the stuff that went wrong. Could easily come to that, depending on what stock does and what the prices of them are doing. But yeah, this is currently my setup. Same as always. Extension lead going through the kitchen because I have no power out here. My very dodgy lighting system I've installed over here. Yeah, it all needs to be finessed and tidied, to be honest, but I think the better thing to do, rather than invest too much into this shed, is just make the channel's next goal is going to be a new shed. You can see why I need it. I've got no space to really do anything. Although I've been able to make do. I have managed to work through it, but of course there's not really anywhere to put my curing station. That's just down there, and it would just make things so much easier if it was bigger. Now, because of sunlight being as dangerous to resin printers as it is, I've got a couple of steps to avoid any light coming through. As you can see, the shed is old, so there are cracks, there are bits of light coming in everywhere. So what I do when I'm printing this here, it's just a cheap bit of surface protection material that you can get from most DIY stores. It's not expensive, it's brilliant. I just hastily screwed it onto the side there. That just stays there, puts that completely in the dark. And then for the door, so whilst I'm changing things around, I haven't got this bit's the really embarrassing bit. This is how my door is at the moment. I've got this little flap hanging down to stop the light getting in from those cracks there, and then on the door itself I've got another bit of that surface protection. So yeah, it's all a bit Bod's job at the moment, I'll be honest, but that is kind of where I shine. So the way I've currently been dealing with getting everything prepped and cured and sorting everything out properly, that obviously comes out the way, hooks up on there as you saw earlier, plate comes out, goes here, knock off the stuff that's on it, put that back in after I've cleaned it, then that all goes over to here where I flip that upside down and I put IPA in it, and then they drip down in there whilst I'm sorting out the other stuff after they've been cleaned. Got this little thing here, this is really handy. It wasn't that cheap, I think it's like 50 quid. It's just an air duster. Like that. That's been really good for just blowing away all the bits. I shouldn't be touching this, it's clearly infected with resin. Oh well. I have this travel mug which I put hot water in. I'll then put the models in there, take them out, sort them out here, and then they're pretty much done. Then they just need to get cured in that machine down there, which I then have to swap the plugs around to get to. But it works. It's dodgy, but it works. So all of this is a mess, but it does work because I believe it does.
This has been a very low rent update video. I thought it might just be nice to have a thing I can do every now and again where there's minimal editing. It's just me saying what I'm doing at the moment, and that is effectively what this is. So let me know if you thought that was worth doing, or whether I should just hide this, bury it in the garden, and never do it again, as the audio quality is terrible, and obviously the editing isn't really there. So yeah, opinions on that are welcome. Like I've been saying, there is a lot of stuff in the works, and there will be stuff coming out soon. There might be a bit of a gap between the first lot, as I am currently on a trip over to Europe during a time where it's all on fire, so that's good. But yes, I will be doing stuff very shortly, and I will see you soon. Shalom.